right. Hi, everyone. We're here to once again to talk about film noir, and today it's Gun Crazy. Uh,
Yes.
Really a cool movie. So FR, would you like to give us a short synopsis of the plot, so to speak?
Yes. John Dahl is a gun-obsessed young man who takes it so far he actually goes to a juvenile detention center because he's stolen a gun. On his release from the center, now as a slightly older young man, he's taken to a traveling carnival by some friends where he sees on stage Peggy Cummings, who is an English sharpshooter. The two of them have some kind of rotation on stage where they sort of sharpshoot against each other. This quickly forms into a relationship with John Dahl first joining the carnival and then them both leaving the carnival, but then because they have no other means of support, going on a crime rampage. Um, this goes across the country. They become more and more notorious. Thing is, he can't kill anybody, but she is absolutely deadly and will kill whoever gets in her way. And gradually, the tensions between them become more and more until they wind up in a grisly end.
Yes, indeed. Great summary. Um, so what
It's
do we
not
think?
actually. I mean, I think it's fantastic. There's not actually a huge amount of plot, if we're honest.
There is not. No, not really. It's really just let's hit this place. Let's go.
Yes, yes,
The main thing is the psychological tension between these two characters.
yes, yes,
And it's like, okay, wow. I mean, from the very start, when they first see each other, it's
yeah,
um it's very interesting and strange, kind of.
yeah.
I call it the strangest seduction scene I've ever seen, something like that. It's like she has this look in her eyes when, she's coming toward the camera. And
Yeah.
it's just like a wildness to her that just struck me as
Well,
incredibly aggressive and incredibly interesting
it's a
for the time.
yes, and it's a fantastically directed film, and those scenes in the carnival have this kind of other real look to them.
Hmm.
And she's staring direct at the camera, and everything looks all off.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it is. I mean, the other thing to say is it's a tension between the two of them. It's also her performance of Peggy Cummings is absolutely, it's a performance for the ages.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
she's amazing.
she's absolutely fantastic in this. I've seen her. I mean, I've seen her in we discussed last time Hell Drivers. And she's in Night of the Demon as well. And she's never made much of an impact to me in either of those,
Hmm.
but she's absolutely incredible here.
Oh, yes,
Mm.
absolutely. Absolutely. And one of the questions that kind of occurred to me as I was thinking about this movie later after I watched it was, is he more in love with her or with the way that she plays with guns?
Um, That's a good question. I think he is in love with her. I think
Hmm.
she's possibly in love with danger.
Yeah. Oh, she's a
Yeah,
thrill junkie, no question about
yeah,
it.
yeah. I mean, the attraction is the guns. But I
Hmm.
mean, he's the more gentle spirit of the two, isn't he? Which is an odd thing
Absolutely.
to say about
It is odd,
what
yes.
happens in the film.
Because the things he's willing to do and put up with
Yes,
for love
yeah.
is amazing.
Although, but yeah, I think by the end, I mean, we get, obviously we're going to spoil it massively, but by the end, where, she's planning to take his niece hostage.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My
she's locked up the
goodness.
rest, rest of his sister and the rest of his nephews and nieces, and planning to take his youngest niece hostage. He still goes with her. And I thought it was going to be set up that he would finally kill, he would be the one who would finally kill her.
Mm.
Yeah, which doesn't
But
quite happen.
no, not quite.
No.
Not quite. This is more of a Bonnie and Clyde sort of thing
Yeah.
at the
Yeah.
end. Yeah.
Yes.
Except it's his friends who take him out, which is
I read a
really,
book. I read a book once about some American outlaws in the 1930s, so Dillinger and Babyface Nelson and Machine Gun Kelly. And the author did include it's Public Enemies, the one that they made the Johnny Depp film on, and they did include Bonnie and Clyde, but said that compared to everyone else, they were much smaller fry and really only famous in Texas. That no one really knew about outside that. But this does have a
Hmm.
feel of being influenced by Bonnie and Clyde. So whether
Yeah,
that's
by that
just
movie. That
yeah,
movie seems like a natural extension to something like this.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, a real life tale. This feels like it's come from the same pool as the Bonnie and Clyde film, which is yeah,
Sure. Yeah,
essentially based on facts.
right.
Yeah,
It's interesting that it was very local, the Bonnie and Clyde thing.
yeah,
But back then there wasn't the kind of communication we have today,
yeah,
also. So that's a lot of that's very interesting. I wonder how much stuff we know about crime was actually very confined, relatively speaking. It's just
yes.
offhand question that's occurring to me now for some reason.
Well, yeah, Jack the Ripper stalks like 12 streets. it's,
Right,
it's
right.
it's not a big area.
Whitechapel, was it?
Yeah, Whitechapel. Yeah,
Whitechapel, right. Yeah, even I know that. Well, from Whitechapel back to Gun Crazy. Let's see, Gun
yes,
Crazy. What shall we say about Gun Crazy? What do you think of this in terms of like, where would you put it on the list of top 10 greatest movies, or does it make the list of top 10 greatest film
I mean
noir?
it's a fantastic film. And have you ever seen The Big Combo?
Yeah, yeah,
Which is also Joseph H. Lewis directing, and is also brilliant. So
yeah.
yeah, he does in the sort of canon have two absolute masterworks in this genre. And it is, I say about the sort of the way the carnival is shot, and there are other bits of it where it looks cinema verite. When they're driving around towns and they're robbing, and you've
Oh,
got the
yeah.
camera in the back of the car,
That
and
is
there's
such
even
a fantastic.
the
Yeah.
conversations between them are so bland and uninteresting at that point that you could be watching a documentary.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's like, yeah, put over there. Remember what you're gonna do? Yeah, I remember what I gotta do. And it's like the dialogue is kind of like being made up off the top of their heads. And there's a big, I guess, about the hour mark, which is the thing. They do their biggest robbery, and this is where she kills people.
Yeah.
So
This
they've
is
actually planned it out and gone to work at this. What is it? A factory? Yeah, and work out was it like a meat packing thing? I don't know what it
oh yeah,
actually
that was
was.
weird. I was trying to figure that out. Yeah, it's like meat packing and
Are they turning the
there's
meat
a
into something? Yeah,
yeah. What's I guess the front office of the meat packing company. I don't know
yeah,
where she was sitting at a desk.
yeah. It had a big administrative staff, whatever it was.
Maybe the meat packing was behind the place that
Yeah,
maybe the buildings are somehow connected. I don't
yeah.
know.
We're probably going far further into this, but yeah, they have this big raid. But the point of making it that when they do the raid, she's shot people and the burglar alarm's gone off, and they're running to get to their car.
I'm thinking to myself, okay, from a production standpoint,
Yeah,
maybe all they could do was get this meat packing place to film
yes,
it in for some reason. They were trying to keep the budget down, and the meat packing
yeah.
place was like, yeah, go ahead, we're
It
open all
looks
the
it
time, or I don't know.
it looks dramatically interesting if you sort of open a van and a lorry and there's carcasses hang on hook.
Yeah.
It's more dramatically interesting than soap powder.
And then I was watching this with my husband and as they went to the meat packing place, I said, "Oh, I think that I see that guy from Goodfellas back there in the back
Yes.
row."
Well, the
Yeah,
thing
now
is to
there's a
say,
guy there with wearing a coat hanging off the what's with
yes.
that?
Well, they found Carboni in a meat locker. It took them a week to defrost him to do the autopsy.
Yes. Oh.
But
Well,
when they're
anyway,
running from that raid, they both of them drop their loot and have
yes.
to bend down and get it in a kind of way
Yes,
that
they both drop something and they have to get it. Yeah.
yeah. And it almost looks like another director would have reshot that and gone, you know,
Yeah.
don't drop it. It just looks so real.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Yeah,
it
yeah,
adds to the suspense.
yeah, yeah.
Like, go, go,
And then
go.
you get to an end, which is the end when they haven't kidnapped his niece and they're sort of on the run, and one of his childhood friends is a sheriff, and they're sort of surrounded, and they're on this swamp. But it's so stylistically done. It could
Hmm.
even be sort of Kurosawa samurai
Yeah.
film.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
fog and it's a swamp and it's
Yeah.
reeds.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
it
Is
doesn't look like any kind of reality. Look, yeah,
it does. It does has an ethereal quality to it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There's a dream sequence.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Mm. And that's where they meet their final
yes.
conclusion. The
This,
final
this is even
destination.
you have the two of them there, and the people who's hunting them are just voices from the mist. You
Hmm.
don't see them; you just see the couple, and it's a very sort of how sort of documentary style some of the film is to going this completely other way and then making it all hang together as it's not jarring. You end up going, wow, well that's me, the black and white helps. I
Hmm.
feel if it was a sort of much more colour shot on 16 millimeter in the back of the car and then suddenly leapt up the sort of bright technicolor in a swamp, you go, wow, that was a bit of a change, but the black and white helps. Um,
Yeah, yeah,
it genuinely is fantastic.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's interesting you talk about the black and white. I think
yeah.
there's something about a black and white movie that is
Hmm.
just the tone, the look, all of it, it just works so well for me
Yeah,
at some
but
emotional level.
there's a lot of average noir films which you could pause, screenshot the image, and then have it framed because it's so good looking and so pretty.
Hmm.
And they're not they wouldn't films you'd necessarily recommend. Go, yeah, that's fine.
Hmm.
It's much better noir films or crime films in the 50s and that, but the black and white is so striking.
It
And particularly in
is.
these films where there's such a contrast in the images. It's so sharp and the contrast is so great. But they often look fantastic. This one really does look fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember what year this film came out. Do you remember?
1950, I believe.
1950? Okay.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
would be the same year as the big combo,
Mm.
I believe. I think.
Yeah. Um, and what was I just to make a point then, but I completely forgot what it was. I was saying, yeah, saying before we started recording, I was saying about how, um, the image. I've got the image behind me of the two of them on the street, and he's trying to restrain her, and it does have that kind of feel of Goddard's Breathless. And
Hmm.
I think Joseph H. Lewis was a sort of uh, big favourite to the Cahiers to cinema crowd. So it seems likely Goddard would have seen this and is probably just lifting bits from this.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
Very interesting.
yeah.
Hmm.
They say a
You
lot of the rest of his career is westerns and stuff, and I don't know how many people watch those now, but I'm sure there's some interesting stuff in them.
makes me want to explore this director more.
Yes, yes. Though I think he was a jobbing guy, just kind of what
Hmm.
assignments he could get, what work he could get.
Still, it's interesting to see what one person, particular person's technique is like,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
what they produce,
yeah. I mean,
what
that's
they're
that's the kind of the whole thing of altruism, or
right,
tourism,
right.
to say it correctly. It's yeah,
Auteurism.
yeah. people being assigned these assignments and then making them their own and doing something wonderful with them.
Yeah. Well, it's really weird. It's just that did I tell you that I'm going to be directing a short film? I told you that, right?
Yes, you did. Yes, yeah.
So now I'm thinking about it that way as well as the screenwriting way. So it's very odd for me. Like multiple thought processes going at the same time almost
Yeah.
sometimes, which is a little
Yes.
weird. So I kind of have to, as a lawyer, I feel the need to separate out the issues, to
Okay.
compartmentalize them sometimes. And so I will focus on one sometimes more to the detriment of the other. But in this
Yes.
case, I think there's a lot of visually stunning stuff going on here. That
Absolutely. Yeah.
that whole scene, that whole robbery with the camera in the back seat, just amazing.
It is. Yeah. Yeah.
Just amazing. And just for its time, almost up there with the opening scene from uh Ki Kiss of Death? No, Ki what am I thinking of? With
Kiss of
Orson
Death
Welles.
is
Kiss of Death?
oh, Touch of Evil.
Touch of Evil. That's it. Why did I
Yeah.
say Kiss of Death? I don't know. Touch of
I think meant
Evil.
Kiss Me Deadly. Then Kiss Me Deadly also has moments of documentary stuff in it.
Mm-hmm. But that opening shot,
Yeah.
that one seamless opening shot with
Yeah.
the big event,
Yes.
the big
Yeah.
event there at the beginning, it's quite an opening shot in Touch
Yeah.
of Evil. So, but it keeps you in suspense.
Yeah.
And this is the same kind of, you're waiting and you're waiting. She gets out, she's talking to this cop or security guard, whatever he is. I really love that
Yeah.
kind
He's
of.
a cop, I believe.
Yeah, that's right. He
Yeah.
was. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't give you my gun, lady.
Yeah.
Glad to hear that he draws the line somewhere.
Yeah. And other sort of great suspenseful moment is when they're coming to the checkpoint to enter California,
Oh
and of
yeah,
course there's
yeah.
roadblocks up because they've committed this robbery and people have died. So there's
Right.
roadblocks up looking for two people in the car, and they have
Yeah.
got in it, and it's probably not as clear to him. He doesn't know anyone's died at that point. He doesn't read it later, but it's clear to us
Right.
how
Right.
dangerous she is.
Right. He ends up finding out by reading it in the paper or something.
Yes, yeah,
Something like that. Hearing it on the news. I don't remember what it
yeah.
was now.
He reads it in the newspaper like a scene or two later. But
Right.
yeah, there's a pull up there in the top, and it's this great moment of tension of what is, are they going to be stopped? And somebody just beat the horn behind, refuses to give get them out of the way. And the cop just saying, "Yeah, I'm going to give him the full works."
Yeah.
Just waves them
Yeah.
through.
I thought that was rather convenient.
Yeah. But then, these things do happen in real life where people get away because someone's
Hmm.
made a mistake or something has happened.
Yes, you have to come up with these things. Otherwise,
Yeah.
they won't be able to get out of these situations.
Yes.
Yes.
I think the main thing to say, whether something we haven't touched on, is how good Peggy Cummings is.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God, she's extraordinary.
Yeah.
Even my
But,
husband, who never comments really on these things, said, "Man, that look on her face in that final scene."
yeah.
He was just blown away by it. I was just like,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, just in general, she's just amazing in this.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to know whether, I don't know whether she would have done any interview stuff, whether it was going into, buried feelings, or was it just kind of like a technical exercise of, but there seems to be like waves of emotions going across her face at various points,
Hmm.
which, she's excited and fearful, and there's kind of like that craziness is bursting forth. It's just like a little look, you can just see all these different maybe feelings that she's going through,
Yeah. Yeah.
that she's, forever on edge.
Hmm. It's like she just always needs to be feeling
Yeah,
that excitement.
yeah, yeah. She needs to be feeling intensely. She needs to be feeling something intensely for like it to be real to her.
Hmm.
That's what she's doing is just keeping going. It sounds, for her partner's point of view, utterly exhausting.
Yeah,
It would be a
it
hard way to,
does.
yeah. It clearly is a hard way to live for him. As she essentially gets them
Yeah.
killed.
I mean, my God, I was thinking, how can he do this? I mean, he must either just be smitten with her beyond words or
Yeah,
just nuts. But
yeah,
I mean, here's this kid who, for some reason, is just enamored of guns, but doesn't want to hurt anybody,
yeah,
which is interesting. It's like just he likes guns for gun's sake.
yeah.
It's weird.
But
And I'm
then,
trying,
it's like people who learn judo very well. Part of the thing is, they're taught not how to hurt anybody. You can do these things where you can kill somebody,
right, but you
but you're
don't
not
want
taught.
to.
You are taught in a way that basically says you do not hurt people with this. You can defend yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah,
right. That's interesting. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, those his feeling of guns, and it's kind of like for him. So I read it is like he starts off smitten. She's absolutely she's a gun nut. She's beautiful. She's absolutely what he wants. And I think by the end of it, she's like a lead weight tied to him,
Yeah,
dragging him down. He cannot get away from her by the end.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, even when they try to split up, they can't.
yeah. Oh yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Is the bit where they both have to drive off in different directions from the robbery and
Right.
turn around to come
And
back to each
then
other.
they don't.
Yeah,
And it's like, okay.
yeah,
That went according to plan, not.
yes, yes.
Interesting. So, so
Just on the side of John Doll, it's not actually, so I looked him up. And so he's the other guy with Farley Granger in Rope, which is his other main Hitchcock
yes, I remember.
credit. But he was reading about him. He was a gay man, which also was Farley Granger. And the other side of it is that it feels incredibly progressive in 1948 for Hitchcock to cast a gay, having essentially a gay couple at centre of his film and cast actual gay actors to play this
Yeah,
couple. It
really.
feels oddly progressive.
It's the kind of thing Hitchcock thing would do.
Yeah,
Hitchcock
yeah,
Hitchcock was extraordinary
yes.
in every way. But that's interesting. That's an interesting thing I didn't know. Um, huh. So, what do you think of John Dahl in this movie?
He's fine. I mean, he's a little blown away by her. I mean, he does hold his own. To be fair, actually, his blown away is a bit strong. He holds his own, but he because just he is more of the passenger.
Mm-hmm.
He's more of the one who drives it. He's more of the passenger. It's the harder role to make the impact in, and she is being so good that um but he doesn't disgrace himself in any way. It's not a bad performance, but it's hard for him to make the same impact that she does.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I like him because it's like you want to like him. That's the way I felt
Yeah,
about it.
yeah.
It's like I want to like this guy, but boy, does he make some bad decisions. It's like, yeah, okay. I get where this guy came from. I
Yeah,
get what he went through.
yes.
What the hell is he thinking? He's not.
He is more of the emotional through point for the audience.
It's yeah. So in
Yeah,
that way, he's the protagonist then.
yes, he is the protagonist. Yeah,
He is it's like, okay, I'm asking myself as a screenwriter, who is the protagonist? Yeah, it would
yeah.
be John Dahl. And
He's the protagonist, and she's the
He's
thing
one
that's happening to him.
who's being kind of dragged into
Yeah,
action. He's taking actions, but he's half being,
yeah,
strong-armed into it by love,
yeah,
lust, or whatever.
yeah.
Um,
Well,
Interesting.
it's interesting because the first time you see the character, which is played by Russ Tamblyn, then who was later in West Side Story and Twin
Oh
Peaks.
yeah,
Um, so they see the younger version of the character, and the first thing we see of him is him actually
as a
breaking
boy.
in somewhere and stealing a
Yeah,
gun.
exactly.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's this kind of criminal. Is what gets him sent away, but it's this criminal thing at the start, though you don't. I don't know if it's a failing of the film or it's a bug or a feature, but John Dahl never has that wild craziness that you imagine he would break into a gun shop by himself.
Yeah, he doesn't strike me as a career criminal.
No, no,
No, he is not. I mean, it's like he made a mistake as a boy, he paid for it.
yeah,
Um, all those extenuating
yeah,
circumstances that were going on with him, they
yeah,
happen. So, it's like, okay, so you're going to forgive him for this. And then,
yeah.
yeah, it,
I feel like we could be dismissed as bleeding heart liberals here for taking a character in a film. You'd see first of all breaking into a gun shop, who then literally does go in a crime spree, and then going, "Yeah, I don't really see him as a criminal." He was
well,
out
I
of
mean,
spree.
not in his heart. I mean, he
No,
just
no,
became a criminal. I mean,
yeah,
obviously he's committing crimes, but he's become a criminal by associating with this
yeah,
woman, by
yeah,
falling in love with her. So she is
yeah. So
truly a
you
femme
could,
fatale.
yes, you could take it as kind of yes, he does commit the crime, but that's the only bit of the crime in the beginning. But that's the only proactive one he actually does commit. Anything else is
Yes,
in
on
kind
his
of
own.
thrall to her.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. Right. So maybe there's this kind of part of him. I mean, he was in the military, so he
yeah,
has the capability to do things that, we don't know.
yeah,
And been through a lot. I mean, obviously, film noir is affected a lot by World War II, of course,
yes,
and the
yeah.
effect on the soldiers coming home, blah blah blah, etc. So, yeah, I mean, but it does tell you something about his character early on that he breaks into the place.
Mhm.
Okay, he has the capability to commit crimes, but
Yeah,
he wouldn't normally do it. But now he's found this woman who is just, let's
yeah,
just do this.
yeah,
I want things and I want them now.
yeah. She's like the
Oh,
Tasmanian devil. This is like
I
the kind of
mean,
dervish
good,
of chaos.
good heavens. I mean, it's like, woo, okay, man, high maintenance stuff.
Yes.
Walk away, run away. No, anyhow, but it's a very it's a great movie, and I loved it. I love
Yeah.
watching it.
Yes.
Yes.
I have to see if there's any other noir films Joseph H. Lewis directed to go with his hair of greats.
Yeah, yeah, we
Yeah.
can celebrate a director that most people don't talk about.
No, no. I mean, there are certainly, when the studios you'll have at the top, you'll have like a Hitchcock or have you a Robert Aldrich, but you've had all these guys of the B movie level, and some of them would just do
Yeah,
wonderful work.
they did. Yeah,
Yeah,
they did, I mean,
yeah,
workmanlike work. They did really great
yeah,
craft and art and all that. I mean, it
yes,
was just they cared or something.
yeah,
They cared. They put the work in. They did the
yes,
work, so to speak. So yeah, it is kind of a joy to explore, how different directors or cinematographers,
yeah.
hugely influential on the movies, not to mention editors. I could
it's
go
a it's a
on.
it's a whole costume. It's a whole
The
whole
whole,
raft of people.
I know it takes a whole village to make a movie.
Yes. Yeah.
Truly.
So we're saying Gun Crazy recommended.
Recommended, highly recommended. Yes.
Yes. And next month we'll do thought not delved off so into Philip Marlowe yet.
Philip Marlowe, yeah.
Yeah.
I love
And
the I've never seen that one, so
yes, James Garner as Marlowe. And my from Raymond Chandler saying that his sort of his reason Philip Marlowe was Cary Grant. From that point of view, James Garner seems to be like the closest to what Philip Marlowe, to what Raymond Chandler envisaged the character. So tall and handsome, like a very Cary Grant character. The way that Humphrey Bogart is, I mean, Humphrey Bogart's obviously great at the part,
hmm
but you have to change things around from the Talman Sherwood saying to him in the book, "You're tall, aren't you?" to saying, "You're short, aren't you?" There is like an alteration in the character there.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's the late '60s. James Garner, Gail Honeycutt, Bruce Lee.
Well, I love James Garner,
Yeah,
so I'm looking forward to seeing that.
yes,
Awesome.
excellent.
Great then.
That will be
So
next month.
next month's movie will be
Yeah.
Merlot with James Garner. So
Excuse
everybody go see the movie, or go see a movie, and feel free to leave a comment wherever I put this up
me.
and leave a review if you would.
It's
If you
lovely. That'd be
enjoyed,
great. Thank you.
yes, thank you. And thanks for listening or watching, and see you in a month. Take
See you in a
care.
month. Take
See
it. Bye bye.
you. Bye bye.